Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, Team Mosso at the1916company.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Reach out to us directly for pricing, Team Mosso at the1916company.com. Sometimes you just need a larger dress watch, and that is precisely what Vacheron Constantin had in mind with this Patrimony reference 1110U. So this watch right here is 42 millimeters in diameter in white gold, though only 8 millimeters thick and 48 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip. Its broad saucer-like profile gives it more wrist presence for those who want a dress watch proportional to larger wrists. You can see there is a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs, so it has a suitably broad-shouldered stance. Now on my wrist, 16 centimeters circumference, I'd say this is pretty much at the limit. If you've got a wrist my size or larger, game on. If your wrist is smaller, take a look at a smaller Vacheron. That said, it is the consummate dress watch for those who have the wrist to play in this league because it is super flat, flush, and will sit under any cuff. Again, here it is on a 16 centimeter circumference wrist. Here's your down the barrel shot right there. And I do believe that this watch would be great for a larger wrist, my size or larger. The strap that's included is large rectangular scale alligator leather in black with a gloss finish, monotone stitch, a little bit of bolstering down the center. You can see it's got sheer cut sides, alligator leather on both sides. This is the new trend in super high-end watch brand strap. You can see that it has gator on both sides, small round scale on the bottom. Though it costs a few $100s more to go double gator, the result is a strap that can last significantly longer. You can also see that the use of a curved spring bar allows these lugs to be drilled closer to the case. And then we have a pin buckle in matching white gold, featuring Vacheron's Maltese cross logo. The crown is slightly countersunk in profile, so it doesn't stick out obtrusively, and it has the Maltese cross on it as well. If you look at the lugs on the case, you can see that the break between lug and case is exceptionally sharp and crisp. Now, there's only one way to do that, unless you fix the lugs using screws. And that's not how this case is made. These lugs are welded on. This is old school lug and case built separately with the lug inserted into a slot in the case flank, welded on, and then by hand file, removing all of the gathered material from the weld to create that sharp crease with the case band. A beautiful look. Everything here polished. The bezel is conical but very, very flat, almost completely flat. There is a camber or a domed profile to the sapphire, and then a grané or non-directional texture to the dial. It's a matte silver white. You can see we have down the center fluted baton style hands. That's how it's Patrimony and not traditionnel. The latter would include Dauphine hands. The former would include baton hands, which is what we have here. We have all white gold logo, individual hour indices, and hands. These elements will not tarnish over time. We have a little semi-crosshair sunken sub-seconds, and then a silvered dimple-style track outboard for reading the minutes. On the reverse side, we have Vacheron manufactured caliber 4400/1, manual wind with a 65-hour power reserve, 4 Hz beat rate, 21 pivot jewels. It's been adjusted to 5 positions, which is the high horology and chronometer standard. You see the Poisson de Genève since the 1880s. That is the stamp of excellence that a watch meeting the standards can exhibit, provided it is built within the city or canton of Geneva. And you can see since 2012, it's been a standard for the fully assembled watch. So we have it on both case and on movement. 4 Hz beat rate, so no tricks played in order to get that 65-hour power reserve. The movement is properly thin, at 2.8 millimeters thick. And then it's reasonably broad too at 28.6 millimeters, so it nicely fills this case back. The architecture, very traditional. We have a crown wheel, we have a barrel, center wheel, third wheel, fourth wheel, escape wheel, balance. Taking a look at the bridges, you can see that they're nicely split down the center by a little gulf between the train bridge and the barrel bridge. We have engine turning on the base plate. We have set nation on the barrel cover. You can see a solarization on the barrel cover. We have a mirrored anglage that is quite pleasing. Also note the same beveling in all of the jewel and screw sinks. We have an off-centered solarization for the crown wheel core. All screw heads are black polished with chamfered slots and circumference. You could see that locating pegs that help to locate bridges on the base plate, these have been mirror polished on their tops. You can see that engine turning on the base plate below the balance. You'll also appreciate that we have at least 3 interior angles here. As you can see, one inward crease, another, and yet another, where bevels meet. A sharp inward crease, always difficult to achieve and to pull off well. The bevels are of a high quality with a mirrored, rounded aesthetic that suggests even if they are mechanically started, they are hand finished. And then finally, we have abrasive wheel stripes drawn across the bridges in a case that is 30 meters water resistant. And for a thin movement, 65-hour power reserve at a 4 hertz beat rate really is quite credible. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.